Haven't you guys heard this all the time? That Iran's economy is collapsing, the currency is destroyed, and the regime is about to fall?
Yeah, I have heard this for years. It's like they want people to believe Iran's collapse is just around the corner. Western media keep portraying Iran as a broken economy. But when you actually look at what's happening on the ground, it's not that simple.
Right. People think Iran is just an oil country, but that's not really accurate, is it?
Not at all. Almost half of Iran's GDP comes from industry.
What? Are you sure? That doesn't sound like a collapsed state to me.
Exactly. Let me explain so you can understand this a little better. Iran has major petrochemical facilities and uses crude oil to produce polymers and other petrochemical products, which it then exports.
Why couldn't Iran just sell the damn oil and be done with it?
Yes, it could. But if you turn crude oil into polymers and other products, you add value to it. Instead of later buying those polymers back from the same countries you sold the oil to, you produce your own plastics and sell them at a much higher price.
Oh, I see. So Iran kills two birds with one stone. It becomes self-sufficient in producing plastics and earns more hard currency from its oil. That's a clever move.
Exactly. Iran also uses the revenue, the money from selling those polymers, to support other parts of its industry, like steel manufacturing and broader industrial growth.
Oh, so it's three birds with one stone. I see.
But if you think Iran only exports oil and plastics, you're mistaken.
What else does it export?
Iran has some of the largest steel producers in the Middle East and Africa, like Mobarake Steel Company.
I didn't know that.
There are many things you don't know, or weren't told. Iran's steel exports amount to billions of dollars annually, and the sector continues to expand.
That's definitely something to talk about at my next gathering with friends. But you told me Iran is a hub for industrial production. What else does Iran have?
Iran produces over 1 million vehicles per year, making it one of Asia's significant automobile producers. There are many manufacturers, from smaller companies to major producers like Iran, Khodro, Saipar.
I bet those cars aren't that good.
Actually, Iran has introduced many features seen in modern vehicles. While they may not compete with top Western luxury brands, they are comparable to many regional and mid-range cars.
Sorry, my mistake.
Building domestic production chains that include design, assembly, supply networks, and large-scale automotive manufacturing is not a weakness. It shows structural capability.
Okay, but we've heard so much about Iranian drones and missiles. Does Iran buy those from China? Tell me about that.
The Iranian government's long-term goal has been strategic self-sufficiency.
That means not getting help from other countries?
Not exactly. It means that in difficult times, especially regarding national defense, a country should be able to rely on its own capabilities. Over the past 20-plus years, Iran has invested heavily in domestic defense production. Iran has developed its own missile technology, radar systems, naval systems, drone manufacturing, electronic warfare systems, armored vehicles, artillery systems.
That's a lot of areas. So you're saying Iran produces all of that domestically?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
What about heavy industry and technology?
Iran has a strong base in heavy industrial machinery, oil and gas equipment manufacturing, mining equipment, industrial electrical systems, automation systems. Machine Sazi Arak is one example of a heavy machinery manufacturer.
So Iran can manufacture big bulldozers and tractors too? I'm surprised. And what about space technology, satellites and rockets?
Yes, Iran has an aerospace industry. It produces aircraft and helicopters and has developed space launch vehicles capable of sending satellites into orbit. Key organizations include HESA, Iran Aircraft Manufacturing Industrial Company, Iran Aviation Industries Organization, IAIO. Iran has manufactured helicopters such as the Shahed 278 and transports aircraft like the Iran 140 and Simorgh. It has also developed domestic engines. Iran has been developing satellite technology and SLVs.
When did this happen? How come I never heard about it?
Because the media doesn't want you to know about it. And when they do mention it, they often frame it negatively, presenting it as something dangerous for the world, or linking it to claims that Iran is developing satellite launch vehicles as a cover for building ICBMs.
What is an ICBM?
ICBM stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, a missile capable of traveling very long distances, typically between continents. Iran has designed and tested several vehicles aimed at placing satellites into orbit, including a Safir, Iran's first successful SLV, used to put early satellites into orbit, Simorgh SLV for heavier payloads into higher low Earth orbit, Zuljana, a hybrid fuel SLV designed to carry larger satellites.
Why do Iran have satellites?
For the same reason other countries have it, growing satellite fleet used for environmental monitoring, resource management, telecommunications and imaging something like Google Earth.
That was a very good explanation of Iran and its industries. What do you think Iran will be like in the next 10 years?
Iran sits at one of the most strategic crossroads in the world as China expands east-west trade corridors, rail connections, port development, land-based transport roads and energy transit routes. Iran becomes a natural transit hub between East Asia to Central Asia to Middle East to Europe. So the future for Iran is very bright because not only Iran is now a sitting member of BRICS, a bloc representing a major share of global population, a growing share of global GDP, increasing financial independence from Western banking systems. This opens doors to alternative trade systems. Alternative for dollar, energy cooperation, investment, strategic long-term alignment.
So, the narrative of economic collapse is laughable, isn't it in your opinion?
When you look at what is actually happening inside Iran's industrial and strategic sectors every day, you can see steady progress. Strategic steps are being taken. Industrial development continues. Infrastructure is expanding. Iran is moving toward becoming a power in its own right. And at this stage, it is very difficult to stop that trajectory. I think West, instead of trying to contain or block Iran, should consider cooperation. In my view, Iran has already passed the point where isolation can reverse its development. So why not engage and benefit mutually? It reminds me of what President Bill Clinton once said about China, that engagement would shape its future more effectively than isolation.
You read my mind.